Today, Becomingamanc, we got Cue from Pho Cue, family-run business, passionate about the food. Enjoy the episode. Okay, so today we got Cue from Pho Cue. The way I say it doesn't sound...
No, it's great. It sounds good.
You know, I'm sure many people says that. So how are you? You okay? You good?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me today.
Nice to have you here. Becomingamanc.
I appreciate it.
So did you born in Manchester?
No, actually, I was born in a shed in Vietnam, but you know that's a story which we'll probably get into. So,
so you're very similar to me. So how long you been? Well, you've been in the UK?
Yeah, I've been in Manchester. I would say since 1995.
Oh, that.
So
just after me. I came in 1992.
Yeah. So it's a little bit shortly after. But I think I've...
and then you become a monk or not?
100%. Especially all the words you can't call anybody love. And, you know, my slang game has hits its heights, I would say. Especially now.
I feel the same. You know, many words, they come out very monk. Many words are very Italian. And then sometimes I switch from English to Italian. And people go, what?
That's when you're telling people off, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Being a Manc is not just about accent or length of you being in Manchester. It's just a whole environment, really.
I think it's a mentality. I think Manchester has got that kind of mentality. You know, I travel a lot, you know, in UK and then all over. But I don't know why Manchester got something to draw you back all the time. You know, if you go to Italy and, you know, well, when I'm there, I said, oh, it's so nice, sunshine, the sea and everything else. But after a week, 10 days, like, you know what, I got to come back to Manchester.
I'm the same.
You know what I mean? It's like...
Especially when you get off that airport and you just, that fresh Manchester smell just hits
rain.
You. Yeah. Hey, you know what, sometimes you need it. I'm like, I need the rain sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
I think the mentality we get coming here is already, I don't know, these things that draw you back. To be Manchester is strange.
It's just the welcoming of everybody.
I think the way Manchester roll, the way we do things, the way we set up things, is I don't know.
It's more heartfelt, I would say, and like especially when I've opened my restaurant, I can definitely say, like when we started off, it started off slow, just because not a lot of people know what Vietnamese cuisine is, and they think
I think it's all new, isn't it? All Vietnamese, all new scenery now.
Like there was one point it was like Chinese and there was Thai, and then, you know, like phases that food can be introduced, and people just think Vietnamese is soup noodles and that's what it's made for. But when you go up to Vietnam, oh my god, it's like if you go to Italy, there's more than just pasta in it. So it's like there's wine, there's seafood. It's crazy. It's like street food in Vietnam. You sit like a plastic little stool, and an auntie is like grilling your chicken wings for you. But then you're eating it, and while you got like motorbike smoke blowing in your face, you know, you just
it sounds like Naples. Naples is the same. You know, you got a little street.
It is.
People shouting and cooking, and then scooters go up and down, you know, making noise and. Yeah, it's not, you know, it's nice, the atmosphere, and it's nice the way.
It's just that face-to-face interaction with the chef.
So you brought Vietnam to Manchester now?
I'm still trying, yes.
You're still trying?
Still trying.
But, you know, I'm happy there are no more Italian opening, and then the scenery goes somewhere else, because we had for many years new Italian. Everything was Italian, and pizza and pasta, and you know, when the pizza scenery came in, everybody become the best Napolitan pizza chef. And I'm like, okay, there's another one and another one.
I wouldn't really know too much about pizza, because one thing I try to stay away from is carbs. I'm not a bread person.
You're not my best customer.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be. I'll be eating all your fish.
Yeah.
To be fair, I can live out of meat, just can't live out of seafood, innit?
No, but you know what? Because years ago here, the only thing you could eat and was Italian, Indian, and Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay, when Thai come, Vietnamese come, when even Polish, you got restaurant, Polish restaurant now.
Yeah, I mean, Caribbean as well.
Caribbean, so it's good because you can have, you can have the change instead of do the same thing, same routine all the time.
But I think it's still also great. Like even though there's so many cuisines opening up, it opens the eyes of the public to try more different things. And any day, you know, I still love a pasta. Whether
Yeah, I
it's
think
going
pasta,
out.
you can't go wrong with pasta.
So it's like, it's still, for me, sometimes when I get cravings, I'm like, right, okay, I actually fancy a seafood linguine. So
Do you cook Italian?
I've started to try to incorporate some of Vietnamese ingredients into some Italian. So some people might hate me for it, but so
Try it was good, then.
so for example, like a seafood linguine, the broth itself. So we do another broth called bun, which is like a spicy bone marrow seafood broth. So how I try to get like certain sweetness from that. So in my kitchen, we actually, after using the prawns, we will then roast the shells. So after roasting prawn shells, it gives a sweet aroma. So it's quite similar when you're like creating a linguine dish. So we then put it into our broth. So now I've taken that broth, and now when I'm making my pasta sauce, I've used that original Vietnamese broth, and it's got like a slight little kick to it, not too much. So then and when you add the double cream, and then I'm adding the seafood, especially when I make a lobster linguine or a langoustine for the kids, it just goes down really well. I'm like, oh, actually, this can work. Then I call my brother and I say to him, I might want to add something on the menu. Then he's like, don't do it.
The Italian will be outside your door.
Yeah. So you're gonna start getting people from like Italy, just saying that's not right. Vietnamese people saying that's not Vietnamese. So I'm like, you know what? I better just keep it in my arsenal of what I can cook.
But I think fusion cuisine, the way I see it, was good because you can have the alternative to eat different nationality in your dish. I'm not a guest. I like to try new things.
But the mad thing is, if I made it for you and I put it in front of you, so trust me, if I would, and then you'd be like, actually, Q, this is actually all right. But then if I didn't tell you what's in it, it's like I said, very similar to linguine. It's just I tweaked the flavoring, because instead of using certain salts, because in our soups we don't actually put hard salt in the soups.
Yeah.
So we would roast squid and put it in. So we try to extract flavorings in ways where it just stays light on the broth. So it's always the experimentation, to be fair.
But what we learned with this gate site, we got a lot Thai, Chinese, Arabs, and we got some Thai people. They're only here for about 4, 5 months, 6 months a year, and they go back. I don't, they go in and out.
You're in town, so.
Yeah, but they live here. They go house here, and they come to us 5 times a week because they only live upstairs. They come downstairs, and then at the beginning we're like proper Italian, and then slowly they change. They go, can I have this with that? Can you do this? So everything we had to come out with garlic, with chili.
Yeah.
Like I don't really want to,
You're adding more products into your arsenal,
so we had to adapt the Italian dish with almost a Thai version.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you're already doing it then.
Yeah, because for us was at the beginning was a bit strange, but it was challenging for us. To say, let me go in the kitchen, let me see if this Thai person loves my food. Yeah. You know what I mean? With Italian, with the twist of Thai,
of Asian,
and they love it. They
influences.
still call me, that they're happy, and then even the fact, I know we go like all the cicchetti things, a little bit here, a little bit there, but I love the way the Chinese, the Thai people eating. They put everything on the table, so they order 10 things.
Everyone just
and then
shares.
In the other restaurant, we never do that. If we do that, we go, how the start, how the main course, I want it. You know what I mean? He is like, bring everything. Whenever it's ready, just bring it out. Makes our life easy in the kitchen.
You sound like my staff at the moment, especially because when we close between 4 and 5 it's just allow us to finish off prep. So we always make enough for lunch, and then we close for a bit, have a bit of food, and then finish off preparation for the evening. So if we sell out on certain things, it's gone, it's done. So that's the way we try to keep it fresh. And when I give the option to my staff, you can have anything in town, right? Sometimes I like it when you don't bother me, right? So I don't have to cook for you. So you can order across the road, which, so like some restaurants are amazing. Or you can have just anything off Uber, or you want to go and get it. The company covers you. but they always make us pay. They always make us not pay, but always make us cook.
Yeah.
So
They
we
prefer
pay
you
that
cook
way.
it.
Yeah, it is. And their order is like a Starbucks order. You know, like just like, can we have this and not that, and then they can have noodles but less noodles and the spicy broth, and I'm like, oh my god. But you know
they
what?
call no carbonara with no egg or no. I said, that's not bloody carbonara. I mean, I think the way we live, it's got to be that. So sometimes it's changing as well. I feel the same. Sometimes I go to a restaurant and I can have whatever I want, and I'm struggling. And the chef's cooking that day goes, "What do you want to eat?" I don't know. So come on, you know, give him an idea. Say whatever you want. So give me an idea. I said, add enough seafood, add enough meat, add enough mozzarella, add enough tomato. I want something, you know, new, something. So now what we're doing now, between us, we go back to the home cook.
Yeah.
Like our mums.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
when our mums open the fridge and they oh, mum, today I want seafood. No, it's not seafood today, but you know, maybe you go frittata with the crochet, you know, with zucchini.
Yeah.
So, oh, mum, you know what I mean? But it's so nice, you know, meatballs and stuff like that.
Especially when you try to cook it yourself, but then it's never going to hit the same as when, you know, your parents make it for you.
Never. I think the home cooking and the mums and the grandmas is always different. And I'm sure you done the same. We try to get that passion in our kitchen, you know, with your family behind. And
yeah, so I can relate to that, especially with ours. So with our menu and our Vietnamese influences, I've kind of like grown up eating it. And when I create the menu, it's not more like, oh, what would customers like?
It's what you like.
What do I like?
Yeah.
And
I feel exactly the same.
People just think Vietnamese is just soup noodles, but it's just so much more to Vietnamese than just soups, like barbecue food. So we have this. My dad's got this ingredient or this recipe for lemongrass and chilies and limes. We started off with eating lamb chops and beef ribs, which he always makes us when I was a lot younger. You know, especially in summer, I just come home from school. So with my parents, it's more like they never can educate you because they did not come from an educational background. So the way they look after you, as long as a roof over your head and you got, you know, your belly's full, that's their job done in it. So when you come home,
their life was very, well, I think it still is very simple.
Yeah,
it's not like, because our life we want, and then it's got to be big, it's got to be nice, it's got to be expensive.
It's got to be extravagant as well. But no, it's like coming home and then dad's like, oh, I fancy some barbecue, and he just fixed it up real quick. And I was like, oh, you know what, just this flavor, this taste, I want to replicate
go
that.
there, innit?
Yeah, it is.
I do the same with my mum.
Yeah.
Honest, you know, we get the same ingredients, yeah? We make the same thing. I try my mum and like, what have I done wrong?
So what my uncle says is because we're not cooking it. He said, you know, he says, because he's been cooking for like 30, 40 years. So I've made his dish for him. And it's, oh, it's amazing. It tastes great. But then when I made a dish myself, I'm like, it's okay, innit? Yeah. It's just okay.
I think maybe we are too picky as well.
We are, definitely.
When we cook, you know, we're very, yeah, it's good, but it could be better.
You know what? I say that to so many people. They say to me, like, oh, what do you think about your food? Do you think, like, you got the best Vietnamese? I'm saying, no, I wouldn't say it's the best. It's good because I always think that something can be better. And I'm always looking for better. So it's like a catch-22. You made a dish, and then sometimes, like our soups or the certain items on the menu, even though it's the same item, I'll probably change about 9 times. You know, depending on what ingredients I add in, what I take out, what I don't like. You know, times change, and what you mentioned about earlier, when you don't know what you want to eat and you want to cook some of your like traditional mum's cooking, or I would just call it. You know, this is how I found some of my new dishes, because I just experiment.
Of course, yeah.
You know, me and my mum still is in a kitchen now, and you know, it's my whole family is like a love and hate relationship.
Well, when you go in the kitchen,
it's not even that. The rule is nobody touch anybody else's knives, because that knife is yours. Like, as soon as my mum start floating over, she like picks them out, and we'll start looking at her. Cause,
what are you doing?
Yeah, like, what are you doing, mum? Like, you know, put it down in it. So it's interesting. There's a lot of laughs and there's a lot of tears in it.
Having run business, you know, a family-run business, if he's got that atmosphere, he's got that laugh, he's got that joke, he's got that. He makes everything
You'll
easy,
find like
nice.
cats and dogs, but then at the end of the night you're laughing, but then you're still fighting as well. So I've been peeling potatoes since I was 12. So I've started I used to remember just getting a £5 from a takeaway because that's where we first started. Like when my family first started, we had takeaways. So, the kids would go out to play on a weekend. I'm there peeling potatoes. So I was selling like sausage and chips for £1. So that's how we all started in it. So that's how I got into my food. But as you growing up and you're like going through uni, everything else, and because you commit so much time to the family, you kind of wanted to kind of escape it. But then after that, you're thinking, right, actually, I love food. And then for probably, I would say, last 12 to 15 years, I've took it more seriously. And
I think what you got now, you got to be more focused on the business.
Especially when you're living, breathing, you're cooking it and buying like every single item in a restaurant. I purchase, I get in, I maintain, I get it, like I said, I'm out of the house by 9:30, meeting all my suppliers. I'm still very hands-on, like to meet up with all my butchers, because especially with my lamb chops, see if they trim a little bit off it, it doesn't look so right on my plates. So I'm still very fussy in that sense. And then back to the restaurant, cook, prep, and run service, and then at the end of it, you're in like marigolds, degreasing all your fans. So it's a tough gig.
I think that's why your restaurant made it, and that's why every restaurant made it. If you're hands-on, today, especially Manchester, it's very, very hard to stay open and to stay on top. If you treat your restaurant as, I don't know, as just normal job or normal business, you gotta go the extra. We do the same. I'm going to Italy, but I'm going to Italy tomorrow to go and see more supply, to see the supply what about Sophie, if they did the same, things like that. We do exactly the same here. At the moment, it's been a couple of weeks, I haven't been in the kitchen, so I'm lucky. But before that, I've been like, 30 days, 4 months, 5 months in the kitchen every single day. So now I'm a bit more relaxed. That's why I can do things like that. But again, we see restaurants open and close.
Yes, very.
And they blame what's around in Manchester. You got to blame people coming in. If the food is good, service is good. If you got that passion, if you got that extra mile to make sure the restaurant works. So I think we do that. That's why we still, on top. I think. I don't know. But yeah, it's restaurant is how the life anyway.
It is like it's not for the faint-hearted. And sometimes I say to people, don't go into the restaurant mindset as I'm gonna go. Everyone wants to kill it, and everyone wants to I'm gonna make the money. But sometimes that fades. Like even if somebody was making that much money, later on the monetary value loses its own value. So even in certain like I mentioned when we opened during the pandemic, and people say, oh yeah, you're in town, you're smashing it. Like, what for? Where's the customers? There's no customers, right? And people didn't want to come out work. So when we got the keys in March, I thought yes, I got a restaurant. And then I realized nobody wants to come out work.
We got a restaurant, everything was sold.
Yeah, so we had to make it work. And I remember we didn't have a sign. So I printed out an 80 quid banner. Right, I just jumped on some ladders and got some drills out and put some holes in the old.
I think whatever you've done, whatever you're talking about, the name reflects everything you've done before. Because
choose my first name.
Your first name.
Yeah.
And if I say it doesn't sound. So the way you're saying sounds very, very rude.
Yeah, it is though, but it was intended for that because when we first opened, I needed traction and I needed a bit of awareness, and because nobody's in town, everyone's shut, everyone's closing, but we were the crazy restaurant to open during the first lockdown. So pho in Vietnamese means noodles, so it's like noodle cues, but when you say Pho Cue and you say it quickly, it's a good pun in it.
By all means, pardon, what you say.
Yeah. So all the time people say Pho Cue, and I'm like, Pho Cue too. It's to come.
There we go. I love it. I love the name, and my daughter comes to you all the time. To be honest, I don't really go out much to eat in restaurants because
I try to, but
yeah, I'm trying to say.
The word try is like there's so many places that I'm still in my list to try, but trying to find the time.
It's the time, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's crazy.
The time is it's all too late, all too early. The peak time where you want to go and enjoy a meal, you can't because it's always a phone call. Okay, things change.
You know, Maurizio, on a night when you're working, you should come around my house for pot noodle, mate. after you're cooking for like 12 hours, you're just gonna come home, put a kettle on and get a pot of noodle on. I ain't gonna lie.
We moved here 2 years ago before we opened the Deals Gate.
Yeah.
I never cooked at home.
Do you know?
Never.
I love cooking at home.
I don't. Well, I would like to. But
I still try.
It's easy for me. Apart to go home different times, and then my wife and my kids are eating before, and so when you go home at 10 o'clock, that's where I'm hungry. 11 o'clock, 11:30. When you finish, you want to say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna relax now, something to eat, but it's too late.
Yeah, so
you'll always be on your own on a couch, or I'm gonna take away, or well, to be honest, most of the time I eat at the restaurant because it's easy. I don't really need to go home and cook and get everything dirty.
No, I get that.
So but many nights I just sit at the restaurant. I think timing is important, but at the same time you're running a business, and then you got to make time to make sure everything is right. Yeah. So the relationship you had before you opened a restaurant with your family, I know what you said, they open takeaway, things like that, and then maybe they didn't work out for them, but what made you to open, and then we gotta make it.
Yeah. So besides the taking, like, just the upbringing of my parents anyway, so when we came over, especially the line of chefs, because at that time Vietnamese wasn't a thing, so for them to get jobs, they had to work in Chinese restaurant takeaways, so they learned how to cook Chinese, but then when they came home they'll cook Vietnamese food. So what all started for me when, like I said, when I was helping my uncle at the takeaway. That's when I first fell in love with food, and especially it probably blamed my parents, because they always said to me, it doesn't matter what you have, there's no better feeling when your stomach's full.
Yeah.
My parents, we didn't have a good background. Being immigrants, coming to Manchester and then trying to find our feet. We didn't have a lot of money, but we always had good food, and that's one thing I always resonate and always remember. So that's kind of driven my passion really for food, because I was making sure that I always ate well.
The passion to open a restaurant, and then make. I think for you, if and then you're doing great anyway. In 10 years' time, you still go. Maybe a chain of restaurants, you don't know that.
Oh no, but I will say, like, I like to feel,
and then even for your mom and dad, to say, he did that and he made those have a nice life, and so for them moving from Vietnam to Manchester, he worked in the sense, look where you are now. Look, your mom doesn't need to work for nobody else, or your dad, your uncle as well. I think the education and the way they give it to you. It's good, because now that the table's turned.
Yeah,
you're on top now.
You want to give more. Is definitely like pushes you forward, because there's so many stages of my life. It was crazy, because like I said, I wasn't born in the UK. I was born in a shed in Vietnam. Because of the war, we fled to Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong, we then my parents wanted to come to the UK, because Hong Kong at that time was a British colony. Yeah. So you had options to go to America, Canada, or UK. So they chose the UK.
They chose Manchester, really Manchester.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a blessing in disguise. But I still remember, it's crazy enough, but when I was 3 years old, I still remember when we was in the massive warehouse in Hong Kong, because this is where they shipped all the immigrants. Massive warehouse of bunk beds. They gave you like a black bucket, and you just go and pick up your veg and your rice or whatever. Because I remember that moment. It's a bit mad, like me saying it doesn't sound real, but
no, but you come from from a country where the war destroyed everything, even the age of the people, and you know what I mean, because I remember years ago, I think the youngest man there was about 30, so something like that, because everybody else, he didn't make, and you know, I never been, and you know, that's my next, one of my next trip I want to do, but always been like very. You know, I want to know Vietnam, Cambodia.
No, you need,
the way they did it, and you know, I watched so many films and how they survived. I watched so many films.
So you go to Saigon, they still got the original Chi Chi tunnels. So basically, the tunnels where they used to live in, and the bunkers are hide from the Americans. Mate, like, I'm not big. I'll say I'm quite small. I couldn't even get through that hole. But so they had the original size hole where how they used to get in and out of. The small people, and I couldn't get in it, and that's how crazy it was. And then, but it was smart though, because they will like cut slippers out from tires, but then they'll make bigger ones to throw around, to letting the Americans believe that they're bigger than they are. So it's quite crafty with some of it, but it's amazing, like the how much they pursued it.
What you don't. The way you do it is great. I think it's you got good brand, you got good restaurant, you got.
We try.
Oh, everybody talking about.
I'm still trying to catch up to you. That's what it is.
No, I don't know how old are you, but
I'm 37 this year.
37, so I'm 53 now.
But internally, I'm like 80.
Yeah,
because everything's just. Internally, like I've lost a lot of weight. It's just a lot. Like even when on times when you're like down, like having downtime, so we normally use that opportunity to fix things in a shop. So in a restaurant, there's always things breaking, you know, for no reason.
Especially on a Friday afternoon, when till Monday, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, or sometimes we're like halfway cooking, and then the whole gas goes off, and then you start thinking, what the hell? Like the house is full on a Saturday night. And then we turn around and we see that mum's pressed the emergency button by accident. So
what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So it's quite funny.
But that's the fun.
It is.
I always, you know, even you know, with my staff or with my family, I go, when it's quiet or when it's nothing happen, I get bored. And my wife goes, enjoy the time. Now, you know, and I go, no, I need to have a problem. I need to have. What's going on? Why so quiet? Why nothing happened? And she goes, relax.
This is why when me and you are opposite, in the sense where when I don't see any queues, and then it's like minimal people in the restaurant, I go, yes, this is life. Like, you know, because we don't get that often, and it's just so crazy right now.
I'm like, why? No, what's going on?
No, like the restaurant is mad right now, because we have a small restaurant, nothing compared to the size of yours. So for us to be able to make our return. It's by, you know, flipping tables, as in, you know, it's fast. That's probably the reason why we do like morning prep and evening prep, so food's just ready. And you know, especially in the restaurant scene, you understand that the key is not the cooking, the key is the preparation.
Exactly. I say we make difficult for us because we still cook everything fresh and everything in the house, where many restaurants now. They got central cuisine or a kitchen. They go, you know, they brought Sophie in already made. And then I think for us,
it blows my mind that though. It blows my mind.
But you know, it's so nice. You see, if I come to you and say, can I have that without or with? You go, yeah, it's fine. You go in many restaurant, can I have that without? Whoa, no, we can't. It's already made. Whoa, it's already made. You know, if you say, can I have a tomato with no chili? Why you got tomato with chili anyway? You should fry the garlic. You know what I mean?
The only thing I would say with my restaurant is like, because everything is like, you know, especially the barbecue stuff, we have to marinate over 24 hours. So certain family marinades or ingredients we will not take out. So we've actually created this sauce called the sweet and spicy sauce. So, you know, our customers love it. It's like crack. Sometimes people queuing up like 40 minutes just to eat wings and ribs. And it blows my mind. Think, what the hell? Like,
we're seeing those.
It's about 9 ingredients, but it's got the sweetness. It's also got a right kick of spice. But when somebody tells me like, oh, can I have less spicy? Not a chance. No. You know?
Yeah, things like that is different because the recipe is made with that. But your cuisine is different from us.
Yeah,
ours is
exactly.
Very, it's very plain. It's you know, I think our dish, the main dish, has got 4 ingredients in. That, you know what I mean? So we don't really have because it's, you know.
It's because you focus on the freshness. That's what it is.
So we prep the tomato, we prep the ragu, we prep whatever we need to do. But the tomato, the basic is, is onion, carrots. So we put the tomato. I mean, so basil, stuff like that. If they say without basil, there's nothing we can do, because when we cook, we're already in.
Yeah, exactly.
But
stuff that you can actually change.
Our base is a plain. Okay, the base we do one tomato, we use it for everything, but on that we had everything else after when we cook it. So yours is different, because you got to make the sauce finished. I agree. Like I always chase quality more than anything else, especially when like lockdowns taught us so much, especially when we just tried to open during lockdown. So why it just came?
Yeah, it's dead weird, because
nobody knew what was going on.
No,
anyway.
Obviously you didn't, because I was chasing for a restaurant for about over 2 years, but like many locations, like in Altrincham. I looked in Altrincham, I looked in Didsbury, I looked all over Manchester, but for one reason or another, it just never worked out. So I don't know whether it's faith or whatever. Yeah, I'll probably say faith. That's just led me to this point. But every single point, there was always challenges. I probably should have closed down about 12 times, to be fair. But I don't know how I made it. And if someone asked me now, what did you do? I'm like, couldn't even tell you. It blows my mind sometimes. But
I've been speaking to to many people on this podcast, and we all get to. We open and then we get to lockdown, and that's where we start to talk. We go down, we upset, we go lockdown, we close, blah blah blah. You're the first one to come. I opened, and then I made it. Then all of us, we had to stay back for them almost 2 years.
Lockdowns taught me so much, especially for my own mentality and my mental state. It's more like, on bad times, don't let your emotions get the best of you. You got, because when things are bigger than you. So, if it's just by myself and you're going through like about two years worth of headache, sometimes you just want to give up. Right? If it's just you, then you probably would have just given up.
Yeah, of course.
But because I've got probably like 2 generations underneath me, and I have my family, my staff as well. It's more than just financial, isn't it? It's more of
it's more you got to hold everything up.
And there's a lot of, but then you're doing things because you have to. You also want to, so it does give you a bit
challenge,
of a
challenge, isn't it?
It is.
I drive myself with with the challenge, with I want to do, I want to be, I want to become every day. Every day.
Still now, even when you have all that success with especially you, and like how busy we are. I still get anxiety. Like, it's crazy, because things are always changing. You think, what now? Like, what I got to deal with now? But now it's like, okay, that's fine. Like, there's never a problem. It's what can I do to find a solution? There's a solution.
Yeah, but that's why you are where you are, because you got that kind of mentality. Many people stop before, or they don't even start because they haven't got that.
Just got to keep pushing them. Like I said, you got to find.
Yeah, and then there's always a way. I remember when we opened the first restaurant, we had no money. We just come to we lived in Manchester, but we just come to this new idea, and it's gonna work. Let's do it. And then
and then one way or another they did.
It worked for what we done.
Right?
It was the right time. I remember we went for the sign, and it was in. 15 years ago, I think we were right in the recession. I think even worse than now. And we went to this guy, said, we need a sign outside the shop. I said, what? I said, we opened a new shop, a new restaurant. And he goes, you're mad. I said, why? I said, 89 restaurants closed. You want to open one? I said, why? What's wrong with that? So you must be mad.
Yeah, I'm laughing because the people said that to me. I'm like,
it's like, I'm mad. Yeah. Maybe I'm mad, but I'm going to do it. So can you do the sign? We'll do it. We're still open. Many people would say, I'll wait, or, even, buying a house. You know, you go from I remember my first house was £41,000 when I bought my first one. I was 21.
The return on that right now is crazy.
It's crazy. But that time was like, you know, I earned nothing.
It's still a lot of money back at that time.
And with the rest, it's the same. I'll open. If I put my effort in, if I put my whatever in, yeah, it's gonna pay. It's gonna pay off. It's gonna do it because we got that drive inside of us.
It is.
You know, we got that way to.
But I realised that you can't do it on your own sometimes. It's as much as we think that we can. It's like I'm so blessed to be able to go through that process and that journey with my family, because when we first did open during the first lockdown, probably like we operated as a takeaway for the first few weeks. I remember making my first £250 that day. I was so excited, even though everything else cost me a lot more, but I was just happy to get money through the door, because I was already minus X amount of pounds from taking a loan. I've literally exhausted credit cards, loans. People thinking, oh yeah, you open a restaurant because especially in town you got the money. I'm like, I wish I did.
Like, you got a good idea.
Yeah, even the decorations. One of my mates were dismantling his restaurant, but the booths upstairs he didn't touch. So I literally took all his booths upstairs. So I was, down Deansgate through the library in a trolley trying to carry all this furniture into the restaurant, right? So then we just kind of made it work, and then our flower wall went to about 5 different B&Qs getting these garden sheds. It's just because nobody wants to come out. And we just did it just to make it work. But then when I think about it now, it's crazy times. But even though that happened and when we opened, things start getting busier. But yeah, again, Vietnamese is kind of, it's not, I won't say new, because there's loads of Vietnamese restaurants around Manchester now, especially ones that have been around for like
I think the position you go, right in Chinatown, open a Vietnamese restaurant, you got
traffic. Yeah, so that's what I was banking on, right? I was like, yeah, traffic, everyone's going to come
Chinese, go Vietnamese.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like first lockdown, second lockdown, I'm like, no traffic.
And the Chinese, the other side of the road, they go, I'm going to kill you now, yeah? What are you doing to me?
No, we've got a real good relationship with our neighbours. Like, everybody is very supportive.
I think Chinatown is very, I don't really know the inside. What I look outside is very different from the Italian. We're still very bitter, very jealous, and
but then again, I'm Vietnamese, innit? So my cuisine is different to theirs. So I'm not roasting 50 ducks compared to the restaurant in front of me, right? So they don't really see him as so much as a competitor. So more of a neighbor. So sometimes when I don't fancy eating my own food, I'll go over theirs and try buy some of theirs, and vice versa, innit? So it's like give and take all the time.
And why? We're in Chinatown, and
So like I mentioned earlier, Chinatown location is just so happily grace of God that gave us that location with challenges, but hey, we're here. But the reason why I wanted to open one originally is because I was working, like, before opening a restaurant. Like I mentioned, I was looking for a location about 2 years. It never worked out, but I was still looking. But then, a few years prior before that, I spent probably some of my life trying to get away from the hospitality industry, because I thought it's taking too much time. I tried to divert just because it takes a lot of time. Like, when you're growing up and all your other boys and your mates are going out, partying, and then you couldn't, your curfew is like 1 o'clock because you have to get up and then go in to help out mum's the family's takeaway or help another restaurant. So then, you try to get away from it, but then it's just something just clicked, and I love food still. Like, even to this day, I'm always cooking at home. Cooking, try to replicate what my parents are doing and try to tweak it, change it. So I've just felt something in me, like I wanted to do more. Yeah. So hence the reason why we managed to open a takeaway.
Restaurant, they give you, the way I see it, and I try to explain to my kids, whatever the restaurant give to you is not an office job or another job will give it to you, because you talk to people, you see people, different people every day. You learn how to talk to people, how to respect people, how to make them happy, if they're sad, what you can do to make them. And I think the environment of the restaurant is...
No, it's very giving, especially now. Like, I would say any chefs, I'll say a lot of chefs are very nice, right? Unless you get a bad side of them, right? Yeah. So, but generally, we're nice people, as in, because you're cooking for somebody, and You know, why
You
wouldn't you want
express yourself when you cook, innit?
So why wouldn't you want them to enjoy your food, right? And when someone critiques it, you know, you do take it personally. But however, you take it with a pinch of salt. I do now, anyways. Especially with you know, some people have opinions that, you know, I'm not here to change it. You know, I can't. 100 people are gonna walk through the door. I'm not gonna expect to be able to please 100 people.
No.
So
But if you please 99,
yeah, exactly.
you're happy, and then the one is he's got to give you a second chance. Well, yeah, the people come in there and they all got different opinion, different way to eat. You know, sometimes people go to eat and say, "Oh, it's not the same." But sometimes they've been up north or they've been down south, or they had. You know, it's bad food in Italy as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure in Vietnam it's the same. You know,
yes.
it's not. You know, sometimes we go to Italy and then we go to the wrong restaurant, and then it's good, but it's not as good as you know. And then we do the same. We only can give 100%. We're humans.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, sometimes I say to them, "You don't like it, or it's not good."
Yeah,
That's different.
it's too different.
I remember once was outside the Con Exchange, made the carbonara, and this guy go mental, and I'm like, "What's wrong?"
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, no, but I wasn't mean going to the day. It was the waiter. I was in the kitchen, and then the waiter come and he goes, "The guy asked for you." I said, "Well, who is he?" And I look at him and said, "I don't know him." I said, "But he knows your name."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay." So I go there. I said, "Hi, you know, do I know you?" He said, "No." I said, "But we just had your food and he's not." And I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What's wrong? That's not carbonara." I was like, "That's carbonara." I said, "Okay, just wait 1 second. I got the menu. I give the menu to the customer. Yeah. Where's carbonara there? Okay, what does he say?" So we got deli at the Con Exchange. I got in the deli and had all the products. I made the carbonara, okay, on a plate next to him. And he goes, "Egg, here we go. Guanciale, there we go. Pecorino man, there we go. Pasta, there we go. What done wrong? Everything is on the menu. That's what I give to you. That was the plate." "Oh yeah, so what's your problem?" "No, but it's not the same because we used that's what you use. So the carbonara is good. You don't like it because you use something completely different."
That's what sometimes when we make certain broth, like when we do our broths, and then somebody tells us that, "Oh, my mum doesn't make it like that," or "It's not like the same as," I'm like, I'm not trying to replicate, unfortunately. Like your mum, I'm sure that your mum's an amazing cook, but I'm not trying to replicate what your mum makes you. When we decided to open our restaurant, it's more like, we're Vietnamese at the moment. Scene in Manchester is either too traditional for my liking, which nothing wrong. I still love my traditional Vietnamese. But then there's certain
Well, you're
ones
gonna
that
make your mum cooking that.
exactly.
There we go.
Or it's too modern. So I was just trying to bridge the gap of being in between, where the food has a modern take, so modern aesthetics, but still very, very old school cooking. So in our kitchen, we still cook on coal, open fire. I love cooking open fire. So I don't agree with hot, like, electric hobs. Yeah. For me, I love the char. I love the way, the smoke and the fire enhances flavor. So that's why we try to do things a little bit differently. And even with our menu, not to say, "Oh, we're trying to cater to gluten-free," but it's more like a health choice. Yeah. So, when we opened, it was like, right, I want to introduce my family's cooking and my version of Vietnamese to my audience.
And then Vietnam is very similar to Italy, like depends what area you're going.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, it's crazy where if you went from north of Vietnam, the soup is very more, I would say more earthy base, more fish base, and it's more clear. But whereas if you go to the south, the soup is more sweeter to cater for a sweeter palate, and also it's more bold. So as you travel through the country, it's crazy how
different it is.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad, even though
Italy is the same.
Yeah, And then we have like special dishes, like our spicy broth, bun bo hue is called. That's originated from Hue, so we do a version of that. So there's certain locations are known for certain things, which I think you love Vietnam. Honestly, the food is.
You know what? I wanna.
You should travel.
Yeah.
As in to that side.
I think I've got maybe another 12 months, and then
Right.
I'll try.
You should do
And then you know what I want to do? I want to go to Cambodia, to Vietnam on a motorbike. Not
You
for
want to
me.
do a scene out of like
Because
Top Gear,
you know I
Jerry
do
Ricardo did.
off-road the bike.
Yeah.
And I rode. You know, I love bikes.
I'm always watching cooking shows. Like,
You know, so I want to go there and then do all the villages on something I love on a motorbike, and then try to, you know, all different.
I hope you're ready, because those motorbikes, as in just the scooters, are crazy.
Yeah.
Like when you
I'm
cross the
ready,
road,
yeah.
there's like 50,000 scooters coming towards you. So the key is for you to walk slow. You look at them and they look at you, and they'll drive around you.
What challenges do you face in a family business in your restaurant? Then, is any challenge? Is it
Where do I start? Challenges. Every single day is a challenge. Even asking mum to use this and use a certain ingredient. She's like, no, it's not traditional. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to go for that. It's just a lot of debates, because, you know, especially when everyone's passionate about, you know, their own station. So mum's responsible for like the salads, and she does the spring rolls. My auntie does like the rice rolls. So some modern places, or some places now, do it the easier way, which is just on a pan. But she still very use old school method, which is boiling water and there's a cloth. So she puts the powder or the mixture on top of it, and let it steam. But then she's got this one stick that she has had for years, right? No one touches that stick, because she goes nuts. And she uses to flip the pancake, or I would say the banh cuon. So it's rice based, it's very light. Vietnamese love texture, so it's a little bit chewy, but it's soft as well. And it's got like meats in between. And you use like a traditional dipping sauce, which is like a fish-based garlic and chili sauce to dip into it. So she has her own, you know, nobody really tells her how to do her thing, because just leave her to it. So Uncle has his ways, and it's just like a constant debate. But it's, like I said, as much as there's madness, there's beauty in madness, because, you know, working with family, you still learn now.
I think it's already a challenge works. We know.
It
Work
depends
with
how
the
you
family.
see it as well, yeah.
It's already a challenge, and it's because you got to keep cool as well. Something goes wrong, and you say your mom made a salad, and the customer, you got to be cool, and you got to be. You know, you're gonna kill your mom or the customer. You go to the customer, go, this is my mom.
My mom is different, because you tell
know.
her to make a chicken salad and a prawn summer roll. She'll make the prawn salad and then a chicken summer roll. So she constantly like gets things mixed up all the time. So it's like, and you're already like midway through like 15 tickets, and thinking, what's going on? And then you're trying to like slow down. It's crazy already. Like, I would say to anybody working for family, it's more like, just make sure, like, you know, don't let your emotions get the best of you, and it's more like the communication, and also try to understand the environment you're in, because it's not normal.
No.
You know, when are you ever gonna say you got your whole family in the kitchen and you're like shouting at each other, and you're literally you know, trying to move these tickets?
So instead to have a Christmas Day at home, you get all your family in the kitchen cooking.
Oh no, Christmas they leave the stuff to me, to be fair. I mean? Like, Christmas is my
so
my
everybody
forte.
in the kitchen now. Come on, let's do it.
So normally Christmas, last Christmas just gone. Instead of everyone cooking, like, I'll go and cook 4 meals that day. Normally I'll make like my wife will make breakfast, but we'll have the Christmas dinner. So, you know, I don't really like turkey. Not really my thing. I love beef, so I'll go for like a tomahawk, cooked lamb, or goose. And then in the evening we'll do like an oriental version. Like in my household, I would cook lobster, like, you know, turbots, and just have like a really big spread. And then sometimes we'll have hot pot, which is a big pot in the middle, loads of flavoring, and you kind of like cook and chat as you and drink, and it's more of a social scene, but we're just with the family around, so that's always good. But last year just gone, we just got right, I'm not cooking 5 meals today at all. I'm not touching anything. Literally gonna make one big Christmas dinner. So we had tomahawk, we had the traditional, and we then also had lobster on the side. So it's just good. So we did that way, you know, we can all sit down properly.
Good. Where you see yourself in, I don't know, in 5 years' time? Where you see Manchester? And, you know, because everything's changed around there now. Everything is, is a high, and it's big, and it's.
who's gonna know what's gonna happen in 5 years? But what I like to think is I like to expand the
More
brand.
restaurants.
I would like to do something else, still in hospitality, still food, just not what I'm doing now. Okay. Because if I could replicate, I'm sure you know, if you can replicate another version of you, it would be like a blessing.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not going to happen. So I do want to go into other things that I'm really like, I've got interest in, you know, I'm passionate about. Okay. You know, I love coffee. I love just...
So it's going to be a coffee shop, isn't it?
Not a bit of a mixture, maybe. I don't know yet. But I just think in Vietnamese cuisine, there's just so much to explore. And I think we just touched the surface on it. And I think with a lot of other, like, you know, restaurant myself, I feel like we're bridging that gap when we're getting our customers to be a bit more adventurous with Vietnamese. And now people, you know, I've got customers eating with us at least 2-3 times a week. So it's like their comfort food now. So, you know, I've got them to understand that it's more than just soups. There's barbecue, there's like seafood, there's, you know, there's
because I think
much.
You know, I think not many people are very educated in Vietnamese food. So I think what you do is good, telling people it's not just soup, but it's everything else.
Yeah, so we do this this baguette called the banh mi. So it's originated from when when Vietnam was colonized by the French in 1950s. So they introduced the baguette to us. So now it's part of our culture now. So it's like you got pate, you got like loads of different meats. So what we in Vietnam, they don't like too much bread, so they'll kind of scoop out the inners or press it to get more meat inside the bread. So I've created that in my restaurant. But then I've also instead of the French dip, I just made a katsu dip to go with the baguette or with the banh mi. So you try to incorporate things that way, but then, you know, bring a modern take to it, and it's very popular because we sell certain amounts and we sell out before 4:00 every single day.
Social been a big thing for you, social media?
Yeah, 100%.
Instagram?
Yeah, 100%. So my brother take care of that. If you gave me, I wouldn't have a clue, to be fair. I just know how to like set up the dishes and cook and everything else. But it definitely helped us during lockdown because, like I mentioned, it's not like the whole of that 2.5-3 years were the same. There's so many things, so many different parts to it. It's just all crazy in its own way. But with social media, we definitely, for us, because we just opened, and especially in the pandemic, like you mentioned earlier, everyone's closing. We were crazy enough to open, but everyone's on their phones. So it meant that organic growth was there. And
that was the only communication you could have with people.
Exactly. And people were scrolling, and we grew so fast. It was crazy, and we got so much coverage. Especially on social media, because, you know, everyone was closed and we was opening. But then when we did operate as a restaurant, it was going okay. I would say okay, because we're still trying to find a fee, you know, because you still didn't know what worked or what didn't work. Like it took me about 3-4 months to create my taco. So there's a Vietnamese traditional pancake called bánh xèo. So I've created a taco version of it. It's using the same base, because as growing up, I hated when my bánh xèo in the middle was soggy and the outside was crispy. I'm like, I like it crispy. So if I'm going to open a restaurant, I'm going to make sure it's going to be crispy. But I spent 3-4 months creating this taco shell. It drove me nuts.
Wow.
First, I was putting skews into it to keep it together. I was trying to let it dry, you know, but then we got there and it's perfect.
It's crispy now.
Yes, it's crazy crispy now. If anything, it's too crispy now. But yeah, so, you know, that's just one.
So yeah, no, Instagram helped, Facebook helped. You know, we done the same. We done so many videos during the lockdown.
It's awareness.
It's awareness, yeah.
Especially if, like, you know, we have to move with the times. Back in the days, I remember, like, you know, for me to find anything, I would get the yellow pages out and start, you know, scroll through.
Remember that?
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. I'm showing my age now, innit? Right. But you know, social media definitely helps. It's more awareness, and everyone's on their phones. But you know,
when you ring them, they never answer the phone, innit? Everybody's on the phone. You ring them. Why they don't answer? Why they're not on the phone?
Now, I literally, when I come home, I put my phone to the side, because I feel like for me to have a phone, I feel like somebody is telling me that I should be available all the time, because you're that busy, and even though when you're not busy, in your head, you're mentally busy. You know, you don't want to be available all the time. You need that downtime. But yeah, thank God for social media, to be fair, because second lockdown happened. I thought, well, yeah, it was gonna be great, because we opened for, I think it was about a few months, 6-7 months or whatever it is, before the second lockdown happened. Oh my God, was I wrong? First day I made about £150. Had full kitchen, had floor staff on. I was like, what we're gonna do, because nobody's ordering Vietnamese. So this is when I got creative. I made street boxes.
Just flying.
Yeah, so I made a pizza box, right? So it was like 15 quid. We wasn't doing it to like make loads and try and make a killing off it. It's just trying to survive.
Yeah, and then get the name out and make sure
exactly.
when you reopen, people know who you are and you try your food. And
we called it a lockdown box. On that first day when it did, so the first 2-3 days of operating, I've only made £350. It didn't cover stock. And then when I sold my lockdown box on that Saturday, oh my God, I sold about 90, just that one box. And that's just only one box I introduced. Right. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But yeah, again, it's another battle, because now boxes, containers, everything just shot up. Supply went crazy because they weren't getting supply in. And from 2-3 suppliers, now I've got about 8 suppliers I need to run to, just for like individual things. So that created a challenge on its own, but then it helped us, because we then started creating more boxes. We created surf and turf, which lobster and prawns and steak. Then we did surf no turf. Then my staff hated me after that, because every single week I was creating a new box. But that got us through lockdown. Like, it was a solid
you had
good
to
time.
do the survival box for the staff.
Literally, like, but you know, it gave, for me, it's more of a blessing, because you know, even though I had to pay myself less, because people don't see that you did 8 hours a week, I paid myself like £200 a week for 8 hours of work. But my family, my front of house, everyone got paid normal wages, if not
that's good,
a good wage. And you know, everyone. So that's why I said to you, sometimes it's not just about the financial gain. It's more than just financial, isn't it?
But you got to be that kind of person as well. You got to be that kind of person, say, you know what, I go to myself to make everybody happy, and that, you know, we said it before, innit? You going in for the passion, you're going in for you know, people think you go into the restaurant, open a restaurant, because you want to be a millionaire, you want to be. No, you go in
some
because
people do.
Yeah, some people do, but you don't need to come
crazy.
from that background. You know, I see different restaurant where people go in as whatever, and they made it. They're big. They done whatever they have to do. But if you say to them, you go in the kitchen, they haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
Okay. And the way I see sometimes that's a benefit for them, because the only thing they concentrate is on the business, how to grow. We concentrate how to grow the kitchen, how to grow the footfall, how to grow the better food, the better, you know, spend less and make more or whatever, but make sure everything is right in the house.
Yeah, of course. So you have to know all aspects of your business.
Yeah, but on that side, you're prepared to say, you know, I paid myself 200 quid, but I paid everybody else. Yeah. Somebody's not in the kitchen, somebody just like looking numbers on paper, because
it's very difficult. That
they want the money, they want everything. They don't really care. I'm done all these to have £200. I've done these to have £1,000. You know, and then that's the difference between us, because we know tomorrow we're gonna make it, or in a month we're gonna make it, and then years later you have a best life ever. You know, but you never look at the numbers as you need to. I mean, if this week you lose, you know, some people just show that, you know, we're losing, just close because we're not making no money. We go, no, we got to do it. We got to make.
In my opinion, I would say hard graft, you know, outweighs talent all day, because you're in it, you're like sweating, tears, everything. You're giving it your all. Sometimes you even giving more. Yeah. And
you give more.
Yeah, there's always more. Yeah. So it's not for the light-hearted. And anybody just like, everyone wants to be financially, you know, stable.
Yeah, you know, you put a lot of hours, a lot of effort in.
But when you're opening a place, I do believe that passion carries you a lot further than just, you know, the finances. Because when you buy, let's say you buy an expensive item, then you're like, yeah, but I had the money to buy it. But then after when you buy a 2 or 3, you're like, it's just sort of the item. But when you generally enjoy something and you want to do things better, you're always looking for, you're critiquing yourself. It carries you a long way.
What makes Manchester food scene special for you?
For our restaurant, the Manchester food scene has been incredible. It's been amazing in the sense where it's just a lot more people. Like, I would say Manchester is just more open to try, even though they might see it and they think, oh, but now it's it's like, oh, actually, that was good.
People travel more now, innit?
Yeah, they travel a lot more, and the whole community overall, even with the whole hospitality. Like, even though I still try to eat out, but whenever I do go eat out, I always try to eat out at the places where I want to support, and the support matches is amazing. And that's the only probably reason why we're here where we are. And besides our food, but yeah.
You think you will go maybe Liverpool, Leeds, Sheffield, London?
I like to think that, but yeah. I'm also one where I don't like to say until it's done. Okay. I just hate.
But you're gonna split your time or your family.
Yeah, so there's always ways. If you think about it, it's like if you said I don't have time now, but then but some people sit in front of a TV for like an hour. Still, it's an hour, isn't it? If you find time. So there's always ways to do it, depending how much you're willing to do to get there. Is another story.
Yeah.
So
I think many they're asking us as well why never been to London and never been to anywhere else, and we always open in Manchester.
But it's a beautiful thing though, like being able to open multiple locations in your own city. I just think that's amazing. Still.
Yeah, and then they're all busy, they all work, so it's good. I think going to a different city,
it has its own headaches.
Especially if at the moment with with not many staff around and.
You're finding the right people.
Yeah, right.
The right people. Everybody
really move things from here to Liverpool in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
You got to drive at least half an hour.
But I think that's down to our character though, because you like to make sure things are right.
Yeah.
And making sure it's right. At least you have some basis to start off with. But whereas if you then some others might just open it because I can, right? If I throw money at it, then it'll work. Sometimes it's not going to be the case.
No, I think if you be realistic, not. So what will make you feel happy about I'm in a restaurant, and what is it? The money, is the lifestyle is
definitely, it's like I said, it's not for the faint-hearted. For what keeps me grounded, I would say.
Or become big on Instagram, maybe.
I try to show my face less, to be fair, but sometimes I can't get away from that. It's not just that, it's just a passion for food, and to be able to look after your family as well as the passion for food, because everything coincides along each other. When can I really say I'm giving back to my parents, or one of the reasons why I first opened a restaurant, as well as one of the drives was when we was working at another restaurant. But then my mum was in hospitality, in Asian hospitality anyway, it's behind closed doors, it's not a lot for people, as in benefits wise, it's minimal. Work conditions is quite harsh. You're on your feet quite a lot. The demand of you is like, as soon as you're clocked in, they expect to work you for every single minute that you're there. So when I came in and see my mum, she was eating on top of a freezer, and I was thinking, that's kind of hit home a bit. Why is my mum work for somebody else? And I'm in a family line of chefs. For one reason or another, when we open restaurants, open takeaways, it never worked out for them. But why does my family got to suffer and help others and being, I wouldn't say exploited, but it's just the conditions itself weren't great. So that also drove me to wanting to do more. So when we first opened, it was just me, my mum and my uncle. And as it just got busier, then I got my auntie on board. Sometimes my dad comes in the weekends to help me. But, I'm being able to look after my own people. And I think, what child will I be saying that is okay? So that wasn't okay.
That's so good.
And plus, I've done the whole, before opening my restaurant, I did front of house, I did back of house, I cooked.
Yeah, how every angle.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, it's a lot, it's tough. as in for you to be fair in your staff. So my staff now, they love it because they get the best version of me. So but we don't, our retail, like as soon as the first one I opened, I've still got staff from day one.
That's good.
So it just kind of like proves that we're doing
It's
okay.
great. You know, your brand is great. I'll say again, your brand is great. I love it. Can you share a moment, you know, your achievement from, you know, your family and your restaurant?
I'll say the first achievement I felt like, right, we're doing something right. It was probably when we were just cooking a normal day, and then I looked to the far corner on one of my tables and I see Mr. J. Rayner. That was an achievement.
That's good.
And I'm not one to be starstruck, but it's more like, oh my God. Like, I actually went out and said to him, what the fuck are you doing here? Yeah, and he had to queue for about 30 minutes. He was meant to go to 2 different restaurants, but then it just got closed because of COVID. And then he got recommended to come to ours. So yeah, again, a blessing. The one that I was never expected, than neither the family. And the next minute we was on a 2-page article in The Guardian, and I thought,
there we go.
But that wasn't more like, yes, I'm you know, the dog's bollocks, or the restaurant's this, or my food's that. It's more like the family's food is getting recognized, and you know, our recipe is, or how we do things is a little bit different, and someone's taking it seriously, and that was a good moment for the family. So
especially now for a new restaurant, that was somebody like that.
It's
Your
crazy.
restaurant is
And what kind
the
of
achievement is so good.
And then, you know, for a small restaurant in Chinatown, especially not a lot that I hear of, you know, the type of clientele that we get, you know, it's not a place where, you know, you need to dress up. It's casual, it's home cooking, but we get a lot. As in, we get a lot of people coming through, which is amazing.
And then one more thing. What do you think about the hospitality scene?
It's tough.
It's
like
tough.
It's so tough at the moment. Like, besides what people just see, like whether you're busy or you're not, I see restaurants opening first year and second year to close. You know, not just the supply side. Is, you know, you're talking about staff. You're trying to find the right balance. You got a responsibility for them. Bills are crazy, but yet again, you can't then just relay that, you know, those costs down to your customers, because that's not fair. Especially when you have so many regulars eating at like our place like 2-3 times a week. You know, you have financial responsibilities as well as responsibilities of your own. It's a constant battle, constant juggle.
Yeah. And then you think it's gonna be tough, even tough the way it's now?
I don't think
it's going to change
for
somehow.
me, but like you said, you know, lockdowns taught me so much. It was tough times, and I think it's kind of like preempts me and kind of set me up. My mentality of it's changed, you know.
Yeah, but you know what I think? You know, I seen when we reopened after lockdown, people had a lot of money to spend, you know, even time, because they've been at home for so long and they love to go out. So they probably made an effort to go to a restaurant, even if there was like, you know, big distance between tables. And
no, definitely. Like even last, like, you know, when we first sort of reopened back, and then a little bit after, towards the end of the year, and then last year it was good because everyone was out.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you see last year, and you see this year,
I know,
completely different.
But right? That's what I'm saying. You think it's gonna be more tough? It's gonna be more difficult for, you know, with the new government now.
I wouldn't know how to answer that, because I definitely, you know what, I definitely think it's tough now already. It probably will be tougher, but I'm just kind of trying to take the blessings from it and just be ready for it. There's only so much you can be ready, right?
No, in fact, the way I see it, if they want us open, we open.
Yeah.
They want us closed, unfortunately we gotta close, and you know, it's not much we can do. It's not something we create. You know, sometimes you say, "Oh, it's quiet." Oh, it's quiet because it's me, because my food, because my restaurant.
Is right now.
But you know, and then you look around, everybody's quiet, and everybody, you know, say, "Well, why I don't make it the same I wasn't making before, and why?"
Saying that, I do like, I'm up for the challenges, and if it swings my ways, and I'm gonna fight it full force like I did with lockdown.
The way you are, the way we are, because it's a family, so we can really cut things.
It is
the way we want. We can
family
make
support you.
Lose whatever we want to do. I think for big chain, for big restaurant, for people go investor, people go whatever they go behind,
it's
tough because they want the return. You don't have to give it to them. We can say, you know what, this week I don't take my wage. As long as I pay my mortgage, I'm happy. And but people go investor behind. They gotta.
I would say we've got more support.
Yeah,
definitely. So that's the reason why it's challenging times, but you're not afraid of the challenge in that sense. So because of your support, like you said, with family, if it came down to it, either I take like a pay cut or something gets agreed.
And to be honest, in theory, it should have been like that. We should have the reward we deserve.
Yeah.
Instead of worry about every day.
But it's the economy. Like some things are out of our control. Yeah. So like I said, sometimes it's you just got to take the blessings, I reckon.
So what advice you gonna give it to somebody who want to open a restaurant now?
I'll say run, but no, joking. I would say my advice to them is,
especially in a tough time, now
especially, it's 100%. Make sure the passion is there, communication, and sometimes when the financial gain is no longer there, you need to hold on to other things, so you just gotta find what humbles you and run with it, really. And like I said, if you want to do it, then I always say to somebody, you rather do it and knowing that you tried than you didn't.
Exactly.
And
that's good. So everybody watching the podcast, get these words in your mind.
But hey, that's just my opinion. So
I think it's good opinion. I think it's something real. It's not something fake.
Yeah.
Something real. You got the passion. You came from, not very rich background to where are you now. Doing yourself, put your family to work in there, look after everyone. I think people, they just need to learn from you.
Well, no, don't learn too much, because I still don't think I know what I'm doing, to be fair, but
And then the name reflects in. There we go.
Everyone doesn't like it, it is. Pho Cue.
Exactly. What do you think it takes to become a Manc?
Being a Manchester person, I would say what it takes is definitely like acceptance. I just feel like everybody in Manchester is open arms, everyone's warm. And we are more adaptive to change, and also your slang's got to be up there. I sometimes coming out calling people love, doesn't matter what age.
Love.
I'm referring, you're right there, love. I'm referring to my sibling is our kid, so your slang's got to definitely be up there for us to for you to understand, and for you to receive as well. So get up there, isn't it?
That's good. So we got Q here from Pho
Cue Kitchen, yeah.
He's a Manc as well now. So
no, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I feel like it's an venting session. That's what it is. I'm saying a lot. I say too much.
You're not gonna ever say too much if you walk in a restaurant.
My daughter's gonna tell me you talk too much, Daddy.